You have exactly 30 seconds to put that back where you found it, or I swear on everything I love, you will never set foot in this house again. She just stood there, holding my grandmother's china teapot like it was hers, and smiled. Oh, relax. It's just a teapot. That was the moment I realized this had never been about family. This had been a conquest from the very beginning. My sister-in-law showed up at my house uninvited and acted like she owned the place. Let me take you back to where this all started. My name is Renee, and I'd been married to my husband Garrett for 6 years. We weren't rich by any stretch, but we'd worked ourselves to the bone to buy our first house. A modest 3-bedroom with a small backyard and a kitchen I'd spent 2 years slowly renovating with my own hands. Every tile, every cabinet knob, every strip of wallpaper, I chose it. I earned it. Garrett's family was big. 4 siblings, all loud, all opinionated, and all convinced that family meant zero boundaries. But out of all of them, his younger sister Deanna was the one who made my skin crawl. It wasn't always that way. When Garrett and I first started dating, Deanna seemed sweet, quiet even. She'd compliment my cooking, ask about my job, laugh at my jokes. But the second that ring went on my finger, something shifted. It was subtle at first, a comment here, a look there. She'd tell Garrett I seemed controlling because I planned our weekends. She'd call him late at night to vent about her problems, and when I'd mention it was past midnight, she'd say, "He's my brother. I had him first." I let it slide. I told myself she was just adjusting, that she'd grow out of it. She didn't. The real trouble started on a Saturday morning in early spring. Garrett had left for a weekend work trip, some training seminar his company required. I had the house to myself, and honestly, I was looking forward to it. A quiet weekend. Just me, a book, and a glass of wine. I was still in my pajamas at 9 in the morning when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I peeked through the curtain and felt my stomach drop. Deanna, standing on my porch with 2 suitcases and a garment bag slung over her shoulder. I opened the door slowly. "Deanna, what are you doing here?" She pushed past me before I could even finish the sentence. "Oh my God, Renee, you will not believe the week I've had. My apartment's getting fumigated, bugs everywhere, and I just need a place to crash for a couple days. Garrett said it'd be fine." I blinked. Garrett said, "When did you talk to Garrett?" "Last night. I texted him. He said, and I quote, 'Yeah, sure, just check with Renee.' So here I am, checking with Renee." She flashed me a grin that didn't reach her eyes. I stood there, door still open, cold air rushing in. "Deanna, I would have appreciated a call first. I had plans this weekend." "Plans?" She laughed, dragging her suitcase down the hallway toward the guest room. "You're in pajamas, Renee. What plans?" Sometimes people reveal who they really are not in what they say, but in how quickly they dismiss what matters to you. Pay attention the first time someone makes you feel small in your own home, because they will always try it again. I should have said something right then. I should have told her to stop, to call first next time, to respect the fact that this was my house too. But I didn't. I told myself it was just a couple of days. I could handle a couple of days. By noon, Deanna had rearranged the throw pillows in the living room, changed the thermostat to 78 degrees, and was blasting music from a portable speaker she'd set up on my kitchen counter. My kitchen counter. The one I'd tiled myself in a herringbone pattern that took me 3 weekends to get right. "Do you mind turning that down a little?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. "Oh, does it bother you? I need background noise when I'm settling in. Helps me relax." She didn't even look up from her phone. I turned it down myself. She turned it back up 10 minutes later. That evening, I made dinner. Nothing fancy. Grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, a simple salad. I set 2 places at the table. Deanna walked in, looked at the plates, and wrinkled her nose. "Oh, I actually can't eat this. I'm doing this new elimination thing. No nightshades, no grains, no... You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just order something." She pulled out her phone and, without asking, ordered delivery to my address. $45 worth of sushi. "You could have told me before I cooked," I said. "It's not a big deal, Renee. You're so sensitive." "I'm not being sensitive. I spent an hour making this. She looked at me like I'd just spoken another language. And that's great for you. I just can't eat it. Why are you making this into a thing? I wasn't making it into a thing. She was. But I didn't have the energy to argue, so I sat down and ate alone while she scrolled through her phone in the other room, waiting for her delivery. When the sushi arrived, she ate it on my couch without a plate, picking at the rolls with chopsticks and leaving soy sauce drips on the armrest. I found the stain the next morning. That night, I called Garrett. He picked up on the third ring, sounding tired. Hey babe, how's everything? Your sister is here. Oh right, she mentioned something about her apartment. Is she being okay? She rearranged my living room, Garrett. She changed the thermostat. She ordered food to our house without asking. He sighed. That's just Deanna. She doesn't mean anything by it. Just be patient. She'll be gone in a couple days. Garrett, I need you to hear me. This isn't about patience. This is about respect. She walked in here like she was checking into a hotel she'd already reviewed and found lacking. Come on, babe. She's going through a tough time with the apartment and everything. And I'm sympathetic to that. But going through a tough time doesn't give you a pass to bulldoze someone else's home. Would you be okay if one of my siblings came over and rearranged your garage? Changed the settings on your TV? There was a long pause. I'll talk to her when I get back. Just keep the peace until then, for me. There's a difference between keeping the peace and keeping quiet while someone dismantles your boundaries one by one. Peace isn't real if only one person is paying the price for it. I agreed, because that's what I always did. I agreed, I accommodated, I swallowed my frustration and called it maturity. Day 2 was worse. I woke up to the sound of cabinets opening and closing. I walked into the kitchen to find Deanna going through my pantry, pulling things out and reorganizing them. What are you doing? I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. Honestly, Renee, your system makes no sense. You've got spices mixed in with baking supplies. Canned goods are all over the place. I'm just helping. I didn't ask for help. That's my kitchen. She put a hand on her hip. It's Garrett's kitchen too. And I'm his sister. I'm practically family to this house. You are family, but that doesn't mean you get to reorganize my home. She rolled her eyes and walked away, but she didn't put anything back. An hour later, I found her in the guest room. Except she wasn't in the guest room. She was in the master bedroom, my bedroom, sitting on my bed, going through a photo album she'd pulled from the shelf. Deanna, what are you doing in here? Relax. I was looking for a phone charger and found this. Look at how young Garrett was here. Oh my God, look at his hair. She laughed like it was the most natural thing in the world to be sitting on someone else's bed, flipping through their personal things. Get out of my room. She looked up, surprised. Wow, okay. Hostile much? I said get out. She stood up slowly, dropping the album on the bed like she was doing me a favor. You know, Garrett warned me you could be like this. That stopped me cold. Like what? Territorial, possessive. He said you get weird when people are in your space. I felt my chest tighten. Garrett said that? His words, not mine. She shrugged and walked past me. I stood in my bedroom doorway for a full minute, trying to figure out if she was lying. The worst part? I couldn't be sure. Garrett had a habit of venting to his family when we argued. Small things. Things that, taken out of context, could make me look unreasonable. The most dangerous lies aren't the ones that are completely false. They're the ones built on a sliver of truth, twisted just enough to make you doubt yourself. Never let someone else's version of you replace the one you know is real. I spent the rest of that day in my home office with the door locked. I could hear Deanna downstairs, rearranging, talking on the phone loudly, laughing. At one point, I heard her say, "Girl, you should see this house. It's cute, but it needs so much work. I've already started fixing a few things." Fixing a few things in my house. That night, she used my bath products without asking. The expensive lavender set I'd bought myself for my birthday. I found the bottles moved, half empty. The bathroom smelling like my own personal sanctuary had been invaded. I didn't sleep well. Day 3, Sunday, the day everything came to a head. I came downstairs and found Deanna in the kitchen again. But this time, she wasn't just reorganizing. She was holding something that made my blood turn to ice. My grandmother's china teapot. That teapot was the only thing I had left from my grandmother. She'd passed away when I was 19, and she left it to me specifically. It wasn't valuable in the monetary sense, but it was priceless to me. I kept it on the top shelf of the china cabinet behind glass. I never used it. I barely touched it. It was sacred. And there was Deanna, holding it with one hand, examining the bottom like she was at a yard sale. "Put that down," I said. My voice came out low, almost a whisper. "Oh, come on, it's gorgeous. Why do you keep it locked up? You should use it. Things like this are meant to be enjoyed." "Deanna, put it down." "God, Renee, I'm not going to break it. You act like I'm some kind of—" "You have exactly 30 seconds to put that back where you found it, or I swear on everything I love, you will never set foot in this house again." She just stood there, holding my grandmother's china teapot like it was hers, and smiled. "Oh, relax, it's just a teapot." Something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically. It was quiet, like a wire pulled too tight for too long, finally giving way. I walked over to her, took the teapot from her hands, gently, carefully, and placed it back in the cabinet. Then I turned around and looked her dead in the eye. "Pack your bags." "Excuse me?" "You heard me. Pack your bags. You're leaving." "Renee, you can't be serious. Over a teapot?" "It's not about the teapot, Deanna. It's about the pillows and the thermostat and the pantry and my bedroom and my bath products and the music and the attitude and every single moment since you walked through that door where you acted like this house, my house, was yours to command. Pack your bags." Her face changed, the mask slipped, and underneath it, I didn't see hurt. I saw fury. Cold, calculated fury. "Fine," she said. "But when Garrett hears about this, Garrett will hear about it from me. Every detail, every word. And if he has a problem with it, then he and I have a much bigger conversation to have." She stared at me for a long moment, then stormed upstairs. Standing up for yourself will feel terrifying the first time you do it, especially when you've spent years convincing yourself that silence is the same as strength. But real strength isn't keeping quiet. It's knowing what you're willing to lose in order to keep what matters most. 20 minutes later, Deanna came down with her suitcases. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't even look at me. She slammed the front door so hard the windows rattled. I stood in the silence of my own home, and for the first time in 3 days, took a full breath. The house felt different, not because anything had physically changed, she hadn't done any permanent damage, but because the air felt lighter, like something heavy that had been pressing down on every room had finally been lifted. I walked to the kitchen, made myself a cup of coffee, and sat in the quiet, in my home. Garrett came home Monday evening. I could tell by the way he walked in that Deanna had already gotten to him. His jaw was tight. His eyes were distant. "So," he said, setting his bag down, "you kicked my sister out. I asked her to leave after she spent 3 days disrespecting me in our home. She said you screamed at her. I didn't raise my voice once. Not once." He sat down at the kitchen table. I sat across from him. And then I told him everything. Every detail. The rearranging, the thermostat, the bedroom, the photo album, the bath products, the teapot, and most importantly, what she said about him calling me territorial. His face changed when I got to that part. "I never said that." Then she lied, to my face, in my own home, to make me doubt myself and doubt you. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said something I didn't expect. "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For all of it. For always telling you to keep the peace. For always making you the one who had to bend. For leaving you alone in our house with someone who doesn't respect you and expecting you to just handle it." I felt my throat tighten. Not because I was sad, because I'd been waiting 6 years to hear those words. "I didn't see it because I didn't want to see it," he continued. "Deanna's always been like this, with my mom's house, with my older brother's place, with everyone. She pushes until someone breaks and then plays the victim. And I've been enabling it because it was easier than confronting her. It was easier to ask you to absorb it than to tell her to stop." "Yes, you have." He nodded slowly. "What do you need from me?" "I need you to set a boundary with her, a real one. Not a suggestion, not a when you get a chance, a boundary, and I need you to mean it." "Done." And he did. He called Deanna that night. I didn't listen in. I didn't need to. But I heard enough to know he wasn't sugarcoating it. He told her she owed me an apology. He told her she wasn't welcome in our home without an invitation. And he told her that if she couldn't respect his wife, she couldn't expect access to his life. She didn't take it well. She called their mother. Their mother called Garrett. Garrett held the line. You can love your family and still refuse to let them burn down what you've built. Loyalty doesn't mean standing by while someone destroys your peace. It means protecting the people and the life you've chosen, even when the pressure to fold comes from the people who raised you. It took 3 weeks before Deanna called me, not Garrett, me. Her voice was stiff, rehearsed, but she said the words. I'm sorry, I overstepped. It won't happen again. I didn't gush. I didn't rush to forgive. I simply said, thank you, I appreciate that. And that was it. No dramatic reconciliation, no tearful hug, just the line drawn in the sand that we both understood. Deanna and I aren't close. I don't think we ever will be, but there's a respect now that didn't exist before. A respect that was only born because I finally stopped waiting for someone else to demand it on my behalf. That teapot still sits on the top shelf of my china cabinet behind glass. Every time I look at it, I don't just think about my grandmother. I think about the woman I became the day I stopped shrinking to make room for someone who never planned to do the same for me. Some people will walk into your life and act like they own every room they enter. They'll move your things, change your temperature, eat your food, touch what's precious to you, and then call you crazy for objecting. And the hardest part isn't the confrontation, it's the moment right before it. When you have to choose between your comfort zone and your self-respect. Choose yourself, every single time. So let me ask you, have you ever had someone in your life who treated your boundaries like suggestions? Someone who made you feel like a guest in your own home? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit close to home, do me a favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.